So yeah, I was recently going through some articles that and I was checking that how well the Kubernetes has been established and Docker. Surprise to me is still there are very high value organizations and the high value teams that are still using jar and deploying their jar manually and using Java runtime environment through JRE arguments in environment variables. They are actually manually running everything and using startup commands and different folders to store different configurations. So that's traditionally it has been working, but we have to look into the larger picture, what it is costing us. One thing that it does not guarantee, two of the major things, that it does not guarantee consistent environment, and also it does not guarantee us the capability to have high level of very high number of uptime actually. So if we look into the manual work, that what it costs us, so as per Cisco, Splunk, and then IBM also research shows that we have significant by the end of 2025 this data was collected that we are impacting $600 billion worth of the value worth of the transactions, and uh, companies are being actually impacted. And alongside that, every minute it is costing us a huge amount of money if we are staying in manual and deploying jar manually. So that's not only the risk to the organization, it's also actually wasting a lot of our productive hours. So let's look into what we can actually do, that how we can actually solve. And many of the organization, and I have talked to a couple of my colleagues who were in previous organization. The reason they state is they do not want to move because they are not moving into the cloud. They are mostly in prime services, customer data, uh, because of that privacy issues and all. The in prime cloud incapabilities, and their idea is until we are ready for the cloud or we decide to move into the cloud, they are not taking the action. But Docker is not only about the cloud. Docker is one thing, is about the consistency. Having a consistent environment in your production, in your stage environment, in your test environment, in your local environment, that is what it brings us. So the as we already discussed the traditional way, what we'll go through this article, how you can actually containerize your existing jar, what are the requirements you need, the how you will monitor the gaps that we have. It's not about the hello world project program that we want to is, we want to have a rollback capability, we want to have um, we want to have certain other capabilities that I want to discuss, like we want to have that how we will handle ports, the secrets, how will be handled, the how health point endpoint will work, the memory tuning, all of that we have to take into the account. But the one good thing is in the Docker is once we have that, we can easily move from Docker to Kubernetes or even any other cloud native service. And if we do not want to move into the cloud native services or cloud, we still have consistent runtime environment, consistent library underneath our system. Any virtual machine change happen in the virtual machine, the environment, our Docker stay intact, and we can also package and consistently update for the vulnerability. Even downstream, the virtual machine maintained by the DevOps team may have some exposed vulnerability. We can safeguard our systems, and it also helps us to reduce downtime. Right now in their current system, each jar is associated with a virtual machine. We can decouple it and take advantage and move our product move deployment faster, and also reduce the overhead of manual work in the production environment. So while you go through series of different tool sets that we need, we'll go Docker Storm, we will go through the Kubernetes, how we can actually optimize our system.